Hey guys, it's Melissa here. I'm just sitting here chomping on my Cheez-Its. Yeah, so last night I was looking at my Facebook and I could not believe that Biden is signing things to bring global abortion to the world while the US is paying for it. Unbelievable to me. I feel like Biden has just only been in office for a short time and he's just already wrecking things. Seriously, I feel like he's wrecking the country because the way I feel is the way the country is run is by having strong families. If you want to have a strong country, you need to have strong families. You need to have a strong family, strong marriages, strong communities, and then a strong country. That's the result, a strong country with strong families and communities. Yeah, and we should be able to have communities, and this is something I'd like to do, to have more community involvement in people's lives where girls can go to a pregnancy center more and get everything they need. I mean, I know some pregnancy centers are not like on the main drag, but if we could move them right near the road, that would be great, because I just went by this pregnancy center. I had no idea they were there because one, I wasn't paying attention, but when I did see it, I was like, wow, they're right there. You can't miss it. If anyone needs help, it's right there. So we want to take the money, the tax money, and we want to be able to support women in families with diapers and food and help out. We need to be able to help, and we need to be able to have more resources. I know I raised my kids on many resources. I actually chose, a very essential life where I said, I know I can't do everything. I know I'm gonna stretch. My personality is very introverted and I can only do so much. So for me, it was staying home. And yeah, I did have some side hustles where I did a paper route, and I worked at a store when my first son was born. But then after having 3, it just didn't make sense to take on more of the financial side. And so I used, pantries, Medicaid, WIC, all these things to help my family. And this is a good investment because my kids, you have to have a trade-off. My kids were healthy. I mean, nothing major. And luckily, for us, it was that way. I'm not saying because of me, they had no health problems, but I had healthy pregnancies. I had taken very good care of myself. I mean, I didn't overdo with exercise. I stayed home. I watched my stress, and I do think that matters in women's lives. When you're pregnant, I do think it matters. How is the mother taking care of herself? Is she smoking? Is she drinking? And we know that's all to be true. How does the mom take care of herself? But I think there's also stress, and there's other factors too. Then when I had my kids, I mean, they were, fed meals from scratch. I cooked for them. There was making sure they got their sleep, making sure they exercised, making sure they had a very rich family home life. So what was the trade-off? The trade-off was me staying home instead of going out there and working for insurance. I stayed home and I took Medicaid. And I remember being pregnant with my first one, and I thought, why would I go work? Because if I could be home and get Medicaid, I was better off. And I was thinking, do you know how long it would take me to be able to afford a hospital bill? I mean, it just made no sense. And you actually had to, at that time, be not working to get Medicaid. So I stayed home, and I actually got a lot of time to bond with my son when I was pregnant, and just wait for him, which was really exciting. But we want to be able to help women with Medicaid and help them with whatever, not like just let me give you a free handout and whatever is on your wish list, here you go, but be able to help them, really help them with communication and get in there and see what the real needs are, and to help women turn their lives around. So I chose to stay home. It's all I could do. And then I chose to homeschool, which was very rewarding for me. And then later, let's see, my husband had cancer, so I took the help with that too. There was no money coming in, the catastrophic illness program, etc. And the churches helped. They would bring meals over. And then with my other two, I still took the help, and I took the help with the home births too. Medicaid at that point was supporting home births. The first home birth I had with my third son, we had to pay for that. It was so much cheaper than a hospital, but it was out of pocket. And it's something I wanted. I was very comfortable at home, and this was in a trailer having home births. So there wasn't much room, but very good care with the midwives, excellent care. So all these things that we do in our life, keeping ourselves healthy. I mean, at one point I had to have iron pills to keep me strong to have my children. But when we can do all these things and choose to take care of our own health, we are actually not needing to get so much insurance. And times that, we did need more, things that happened, like my husband is accident prone and he'd fall off his go-kart or flip over his motorcycle. The hospital was there with their low income programs to help us out. So the big picture is I really chose to say, what's the most important thing in life to me? Where's my highest impact or contribution in life? And it was being a wife and a mother. And because that's all I did, that one thing, that's all I did with my life, is just focus on my family and homeschool. I had very good results. My son later went in the Army. He paid for his own college. Talented kids, close relationships still to them. I have one that's off living his own life, but I didn't really have issues with him. And so we want to be able to, instead of just taking our energy and putting it everywhere, we want to be very focused in our life and prioritize what's most important to us. So with this whole thing with Biden signing these papers, it really isn't a solution. It's a Band-Aid. It's, oh, you're pregnant? Well, let's look at your circumstances. You don't want to be pregnant? You don't, you can't afford it? Well, let's just have an abortion. And again, abortion is not health care. It's very destructive to a woman's health. Her mental health is destructive. I mean, this is murder, and a woman's body knows eventually, and especially when she has more children later on down the road, that was a baby she lost. That is living day in and day out knowing that you lost a baby. So I'm just really disgusted with Biden, and there's nothing we can do on the federal level, but I know we can do things in the community to help women. If we can get in there and create communities that are there for girls, girls are not even going to want this. We want to get to the heart of girls and men. I'm very big on sharing the gospel. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, for whoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. I heard the gospel when I brought my firstborn son to church, and girls need to hear that they are loved. And we have a God who came down to earth, bent over, and died on a cross to save people. So if you know your value and you know that you're loved, why would you make decisions that would be devaluing or degrading to you? So I'm big on the gospel. I'm big on helping people through the church with their lives. And if we can do this through the church, and we can be there through the church and to people on the outside and help them have their babies, I mean, this could be so amazing how many people would start having bigger families and not need abortion. So we want to get to the heart is what we want, so that people don't even want abortion anymore. So there's no more of a demand for it. Okay, thanks for joining me.